I don't make news videos about playsets, but one that got revealed today for 2026 is so wild, I just have to talk about it. Hello everybody, and welcome back to My Thoughts, a series where I give my thoughts on the latest cars news. And guys, this new 2026 playset is absolutely hilarious, and honestly, comes with one of the best plastic cars we have ever seen. I'd like to introduce you all to the Piston Cup Stunting Speedway, a new playset releasing for the Cars Diecast line for 2026, found today on the website IceCat by Training Cars Cadeau 01, a very reputable leaker here within the Cars community. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how expensive this set is going to be. While just looking at the box, it doesn't seem too big. It actually is over 36 inches long, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it'll be in the $20 category, but I also don't think it's big enough to be in the $40 category. I think $30 would be a good, comfortable price for this, but we're going to have to wait and see. I'd assume this will probably hit store shelves around January. That's typically when the first playsets of the year begin to release, but some people will probably be able to find it a bit earlier on. That's just how it goes. Now, the playset itself is pretty basic in terms of design, but the concept behind it is really fun. It's a playset entirely themed around the crash scene from the race at the start of the first Cars movie. As you can see, everything here is all Motor Speedway of the South themed. There's a launcher at the start of the set that you could load the car into, and then two different paths it could go down. It could either go fully straight, leading to a turntable where you could control whether or not it collides with another car. Or you could divert the path and McQueen could go up and jump over the fan stands, jump over the other car, etc. It's a pretty fun concept, and I'm really surprised it took us this long to come up with a playset with this theming. Of course, we see Cars playsets with crashing being a big component of them all the time, but this is the first time I can recall a Piston Cup playset themed around one of the iconic Piston Cup crash scenes from the Cars movies itself. Now, beyond the really fun concept, where this playset really shines is with the cars included, something that's going to interest a lot of collectors. A lot of collectors that don't typically buy playsets, I think, are definitely going to want to check this one out. Not only do we get a plastic version of Tongue McQueen, which the description calls Tongue Out McQueen, I think that's a really nice touch. It's not often the plastic McQueen mold is changed, so them going out of their way to make a new one that is McQueen sticking his tongue out just so that you could get that accuracy, because the set's all about him jumping. I absolutely love it. I think that's really cool, really fun. You could also switch the Jumbotron from like a generic Piston Cup logo to McQueen jumping, which is really, really funny to me. Unfortunately, like all your other modern plastic McQueens, it is going to be using the Cars 3 longer body mold instead of the shorter Cars 1 mold, so it won't match your other Tongue McQueens, but still, it is nice to get in plastic form, and regular Tongue McQueen is a diecast that hasn't been out in a very long time now, so I am happy to see it. But of course, the highlight here is the other plastic car we get. This playset includes a race-damaged leakless for McQueen to jump over. How crazy is that? Now, it should be noted right off the bat that this damaged leakless is just an accessory in the playset. It's not a full-fledged additional plastic car. As you can see, the wheels are completely bent off to the side since he's super damaged, and they're also just molded into the base. Think of him as very similar to the plastic pitties that we've been receiving in playsets for the past few years. An additional character that acts as part of the play feature, but not a full-fledged additional vehicle. That's also why he doesn't have too much detailing. He's got the face and the hood logo and the side details all as stickers, but he doesn't have the windows colored in or all the additional details you'd expect if this were a full-fledged diecast or even a full-fledged plastic car. And while that is disappointing, and I would have definitely preferred to see this car be a fully functioning rolling plastic car, we've had playsets with two cars before, especially if this is going to be a more expensive one, I would have loved to have seen that. But as a static accessory and piece of the playset, I think it's perfectly fine. It reminds me of those monster truck toys that come with little crushable cars. I do just wish, at the very least, they gave him stickered windows. That really would have completed this car. Although I will say, I do really like, I just noticed this now, his side decals are covered in scrapes and scratches, making him look even more damaged than this mold and his facial expression already portray. So it isn't just the typical leakless decals you'd expect. Actually, it looks like the hood decal might be a bit scratched up too. And of course, you have that exclusive face. I would love to see customizers use these decals to make diecast versions of this. Now look, having this be a fully functioning plastic car would have definitely been my preferred outcome, but the fact that this exists alone, I think is going to draw so many people to this set. Even if it doesn't roll, even if it isn't very detailed, they just made a damaged leakless. Cars fans have been begging, absolutely begging, for damaged piston cup racers for years and years and years. The most expensive Cars diecast ever made is race damaged mood springs. I think regardless of the fact that it's just a plastic accessory, this is going to be a playset that a lot of people pick up so that they can have this. I know I certainly am going to. This is just such a cool, fun bonus inclusion in a playset, and it makes a playset that I otherwise wouldn't have batted an eye at a whole lot more interesting. The inclusion of this item in the set also gives me some hope for the future that maybe someday we can see actual diecasts of more damaged piston cup racers other than just mood springs. For a while, I've assumed that Mattel avoids damaged piston cup cars and a lot of damaged cars in general because they don't want to be selling these toys that look super crazy injured, but the inclusion of leakless in this set gives me hope that race damaged piston cup cars are still on the table. Maybe someday. I think this basically deconfirms my theory, and I do hope maybe one day we have them. But for now, we have this, a nice little inclusion in a playset. This is something they really didn't have to do. They easily could have just left this slot blank and said, hey, fill it in with a car from your own collection. But it is nice of them to include it. It's especially nice of them to include something we've never gotten before in the diecast line. It's definitely enticed me to pick up this set. I'm not sure if I'll buy it the first time I see it. It's going to depend on what that final price ends up being. Maybe if it's a bit much, I'll buy it on sale. But it's definitely one that I want to add to my collection. And regardless of the fact that it's an immobile plastic accessory, I'm definitely going to put this damaged leakless on my shelf next to my regular one. It's going to be really fun to see people, again, customize this, modify it, either take the decals off of it and put it on a custom damaged leakless, or simply enhance this plastic accessory, give it windows, give it more detail. It's going to be pretty fun to see what people do with this. Anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts on this new set, and I'd love to hear yours, so let me know down in the comments. Does this interest you? Do you plan on getting it? Or is a plastic, immobile, damaged leakless not enough to win you over? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.